Alkalinity 64 here, off to Leicester racecourse, first time in, I think, 2019, might be the same meeting actually, which was a third race, which was this two race back in the day, and then it switched to a pretty valuable handicap. There's actually a very valuable maiden at the start of the race. I don't quite know why specifically. It's about 15, I think 15 grand is quite hefty money for maiden, quite high. Since I was real filter, unsurprisingly, and I'm staying overnight in Leicester. I'm actually going to. It started by one bizarre notice board on Tannery Metro, which seems to say Metro's are 8 minutes, 33 minutes, about 30. When one not here, then one in 99 minutes. I think there's yet again. Get those new Metros in, isn't I still don't solve problems with Tannery Metro because times clearly that's just not accurate. Even if there was some cancelled, the fourth Metro is not going to be an hour 40 minutes off. But anyway, so Southwell are going on Sunday, but I'm pretty annoyed. I didn't realise until about I think yesterday, maybe the day before. Our meeting was starting at 3:15 at Southwell, and I thought, oh, that's not strange, what's going on here? And I realised I got problems about my timings, and I looked into it, and I got from Bay, and I just use the website archive.org, the archive sites of websites. I was trying to look up, but they never seem to work somehow for the racing ones. Even though when racing used to, when a fixture might have taken place, all the race cars will be I suppose site or Sporting Life at races, or even BHA fixture list on their website doesn't ever seem to go what it used to, the previous version of the site. However, Southwell's website did, and it was actually 210, or it did say 2BC, can be confirmed. I think it says 2BC, something like that. And it's now an hour late, 55 minutes late. And the bizarre, I have no idea why I've done this. The major meeting at Southwell, they're pushing £40,000 to win a race. I put at the end of a car at 6:45. This isn't particularly due to West or TV. And I remember I said before sometimes, Haydock went to Tommy Whittle back here when it was, but in December, and when Whittle and we made a race before that, whatever race it was, and Haydock was something like 3 o'clock, 3:30 end of a card. That's clearly because of TV, or maybe even 2:30, 3 o'clock actually. I'm not sure, because I helped racing that time in December because the sun going down much quicker, starts much quicker. And so I can understand they put a 6 or 7 races of a card because it was maybe Channel 4 those days and still scheduled for when they're showing racing, and I have to say it made sense. It wasn't a stupid decision. And also, I must have a Gold Cup if one went to it years ago. I think it's about 5:25 right at the end of the card, and I wondered if that was to do with TV, and it was. ITV4 happened to be a Sunday series meeting, I think. I'm happy to also be showing the final race, and that's super. But it's not a matter of knowledge. I did check. It looks like Southwell's not been shown on ITV. So why on earth is a major race 6:45, a final race on an 8-race car, starting at 3:15? What's the logic of it? A race is decent enough, but the problem is, most races are actually good quality. I mean, same for Southwell, but actually it's decent quality races. Races in Newcastle, all of them. I think 10,000 plus to win a races sort of thing in Newcastle I'd probably go to if just one of those races. But now, because of this random decision to a meeting an hour later, I have to miss the final 2 races, including a major race, which annoys me a lot. I'll probably lost 3. I have 10 minutes, but we're starting at 6 Villa West at Southwell, and then to get to Warston Station. And I'm actually coming because I'm staying all night from Nottingham, so I can work out possibly how long it would take me from the station to the stands. Annoyingly, it's actually not that far, and it'd be really, it's literally a minute or 2 longer, and I'd be fine, I think. But I just think, my suspicion is it's going to be about a couple minutes too long for me to get to. I can't risk missing this train out of Wollaston to Newark, because I need to get my train to Newark to Newcastle. And it's just too expensive to getting a new ticket or anything, even spending, say, 10 quid to transfer the new ticket. Whole thing, with new tickets out of Newark to Newcastle is just too expensive. It just makes the whole thing more ridiculous. I'm not a happy bunny about this. It's simply time at Sandown. I'm not going to Sandown today. But the decision, because I think I'm getting a little bit overblown with Mullins, Scout, and Chairs Championship thing. It seems to take over everything at the minute, and I think it's going over the top personally. Well, as I said previously, I was at the 2016 meeting at Sandown. It's actually, as much as anything, I wanted to see Richard Johnson win his first jockey's title. It's been second, something like 15 years in a row to AP McCoy. And I was actually rather busy in my private life then, and I had to make a commitment to get to this meeting. I was afraid I really didn't have much time. And it was a battle then between, I think, presumably Nicholls and Mullins who were towing this title. And Nicholls won it. And by the time I got to what's a select hurdle, where the two Lossymouths are maybe versions of Lossymouth might have been winning and were not. It's clear, I think it's select hurdle, must have been a select hurdle. Clear and Mullins couldn't now win. And Rumour Mag, who'd seen a win, I think, the mare's hurdle, I assume. She'd won an outfit doing another circle as well. I mean, Liberty Map won that, I think, when I was there. There for 4 days, Town Festival 2016. So I didn't, but then Mullins just pulled her out of the race. And I was annoyed. Someone else commented to Twitter. Someone else commented, responded, or maybe Blue Sky, which it was, responded to my comment on there, saying they weren't unhappy about it. It was just big. Horse wasn't injured. It's not for going. You just don't want to win the horse because you can't win the title. It's a bit of peak, really. And I forgot about this until now. There wasn't only Pastor Willie Mullins there. It was a very, very poor decision. Because some racecourses have gone there for that the horse, partly because of her running, the major star attraction. It being major on celebration chase, also the Sacra really hammered around her. So it was fantastic. It was better than the champion chase. So that was one of my great racing memories. Was being with Stans when Sacra won his second time in chase. But Sandon was devastating. But one of the stars there was doing Rumour Mag, I think, and suddenly, you're not winning now. And it's happened again here. Well, it hasn't. What happened? ITV randomly shoved. As soon as I did ITV, possibly BHA, probably, and certainly Sandown, just for the first race half an hour earlier. So again, this Mullins trainer's title thing has caused chaos to his schedules. And in fact, it was a major 50 grand to win a novice handicap hurdle, is it, I think, which wasn't on the card when I went there. And that's one of the reasons I actually said to go to Sandown today. Possibly Lurch's National Hunt. No, so it's a point-to-point meeting. We mean to get to. I was possible today, as was Haydock, Whippen, and Sandown. And one of the meeting races I thought I was going to get, said to going to, was this was first race at Sandown. So randomly half an hour earlier, and I'm absolutely furious if it altered that. And it meant I couldn't get to a meeting because I couldn't get there in time to train. And it's just people changing race meetings. I wonder how many of these people actually take public transport or even go racing at all. Going to Leicester racecourse. Leicester's actually not in Leicester, in fact. I've got to sign off a bit. Leicester is that direction. We are just into Oadby and Wigton area in Leicestershire. But the question is, how on earth do you get in? I know I've been here before, and it's too, with all due respect, slightly older people walking along that direction up that way, who may be trying to get into racecourse. I'm not sure where they will go on with off my bus. It's terrible. I mean, it's one of the worst races to get into. Windsor was bad. I thought I found a back way sort of underneath the one main was out across the Thames, I believe. I eventually found I was way there. But it's horrible. It reminds me a bit of Kansas City as well. And in some ways, it's not, I don't think it's an easier way of getting in. It's absolutely ridiculous. At Nottingham Station, my train actually to Watford here. I mean, I think the shuttle service seems to be between Lincoln and Nottingham, one that stops from Warriston. So I would probably be getting it other times we knew it going the other direction, in fact. But actually in Nottingham, that is the simple situation. I've been in Leicester, of course, yesterday. I'm going to Southwell in the racecourse, which is next to Warriston Station, today. But I'm actually happy to just have some spare time. The trains have not been interested in Warriston now to this line, basically. At all, and either I'll be miss the start of the race meeting by about 2 hours, or I'll be. Well, he did say I thought of me in about 3 hours before first race originally. I don't realise until suddenly someone make my meeting an hour later. I mean, it's fine for now. Means I get a later train, and they're getting 20 minutes before first race. The problem is, as I said, we now have to leave after the 5th race. Missing one, especially a major race I was going to go to, I have to admit, there's no reason at all to find a race on the card. So I left time Nottingham. I left after me.
Platform 5A is the
That's not my one.
14:16
So I don't care.
cross-country service to Cardiff Central
But
via
my
Birmingham New Street.
I had a couple of options last night.
Derby,
Once you'd seriously go to
Birmingham
Reworld Board Game
Hamlet,
Cafe. I do like my
Birmingham
board
New
games.
Street,
There's some nice real
University,
pubs I haven't been to
Worcestershire
in Leicester, and there's
Cheltenham
cider or
Spa,
latter.
Gloucester,
And I thought
Newport,
maybe
and
with 3 pubs have a pint in each pub.
This train is
And thought
calling
that
for
ended up
free
as in the evening
Platform 5A
pint in
for
pub 1,
14:16
2
cross-country
pints in pub
service
2,
to Cardiff Central via Birmingham New Street.
2 pints in pub 3, and then it's on myself. I wait for hit goes down to the Galaxy and counted to a Ford Prefect. It sounds like a sort of Ford Prefect thing. I think basically for balance, I then went back and another pint in pub 1. Then 6 pints. I'm not really ever been a heavy drinker, and I was badly hungover. I was falling under power, and there's some pubs had to get in taxi. Oh, God's sake. Not that hot.
To keep hydrated.
It's a bit warm. It's ridiculous. It's not like a heat wave. But I mean, it's vaguely warm. Dear God, mate. It's not like you had something ice age here. It's not that warm. Anyway, so I said I'm sounding like a Ford Prefect sort of thing, and then 2 pints in each pub. And I had to get a taxi because the Pullman, partly for an hour, and I was staying. It's a bit out when I got Leicester than I thought it was. I thought it might be a 40-minute walk. It was actually an hour walk, it would have been. And then I had to struggle a little to get into a place because I had written down the code to get into a place staying overnight in Leicester, but my phone wasn't on with my power, and the police had a phone light to see where I typed it into. Luckily, there was someone there to sort it out, but it was a bit worrying. They said released, and I got there. And this morning, I found it was a bus. I don't think they run very late or not back to this place. It's a bit out of the way in Leicester, so I checked. There wasn't a bus last night. Whenever it was, I think 10 o'clock or something like that. I can't quite remember when it was, and but was on this morning. I thought I'll just get that. It'd be easier. It's like a small bus, and it was not that many seats on it, and I had to get a seat on it, and I was thinking, I missed that, but I didn't realise it was more. But I think it was one later on the court. It could have been a problem we couldn't get on the bus, because I was really worried I would have run out of time and hoped the other bus turned up. I think there was a few buses hovering up, but it wasn't exactly helpful. So I'm thinking I'm going to Newmarket. That's the day, 16th or 17th of July. We'll find them on Saturday. Problem is that I could stay overnight somewhere. Basically Newmarket, and there's a few options, but none of them are greatly cheap. The other problem is it's possibly yet again primarisation, I say. And sometimes this is really a problem to waste times. And suddenly, this meeting starts about 4 o'clock, and it actually is an option I do have. I've actually gone from Newcastle down to Newby. I'm back in Newcastle and then down Newmarket the next day instead of staying overnight. I didn't have the time to do it. The problem is, the meeting ends there's no way I can really get a train before 8 o'clock at night. And there's a real struggle back to Newcastle. There's a possible way when I'm based in Edmonds. It's not a way, the normal sort of way I'd gone before. So like once, a number of times in Newmarket, only once have I gone where I'm based in Edmonds. Normally it's like Cambridge and Neely, that direction. There's no train to get me there for the last train out of basically Peterborough to go north. There's no possible train. So I have to go via basically Edmonds. And the problem is, I don't think it's what classes a legitimate way. As in, if something goes wrong and your train's delayed, you get another train, or perhaps even someone puts you on a taxi, try and get as far north as they can, say Newcastle, and then maybe York and into a taxi. The problem is, only 5 minutes change the base at Edmonds, and I don't think that's coming up with it, and they might be too small. Not every train station, there's a generic, it's like 10 minutes to change time, but certain stations, smaller stations, don't have less than that. Some larger ones, like some Glasgow, London ones, have a bit more. Birmingham used to might as well. And I think 5 minutes might not be okay at Bury St Edmunds. I don't know naturally well. I don't think it's coming up. So I may have to stay overnight in Newmarket. It means that either say both a Newby and Newmarket, which is just expensive. Go on, I don't know what's happening in the background. Or even if I go home and go back down again, I'll stay in Newmarket overnight. I tend to overnight coach when I get to London, which is a possibility, but I can't get cheap on transport. So I don't like doing that. Having said that, I only get in about 2 o'clock anyway. If I was able to get this train to Newcastle 2 in the morning, I would coach to be 5 or 6. I mean, it wouldn't be massively different. So that's all a possibility. I've got York on May the 31st, Newcastle on May the 11th. There's a couple looking into muscle listed races and 2 in Leicester, I think both in August, and 2 others in August. And then Doncaster listed race mid-December, and then that's almost it. Apart from 3 we won't get to this year, which is the Standard Cup. It's a Standard Cup at Lingfield, something like that. Might be its name. I can't quite remember what it's called. Spring Cup. Maybe it's Spring Cup. Standard Cup York. Spring Cup. Then there's also Good Friday, whatever Bath race it is. That's Philly's one of them, and Beckford's the other. I think lands on Philly. I've been to one, not the other. The Chelmer Stakes at Chelsea City, and that would actually be the end of the listed races, and every single group of winter race in Britain, and so it's possible I get through all the listed races by May next year. What I didn't say is I did Nottingham today. I had options, maybe that's Justice Museum. I've been to before, and there's nothing really. I walked on the train of them before. This was actually, but I've done that, bizarrely, I maybe mentioned it a few times. I went to quite a few tickets at Cricket World Cup 2019. Got cheap tickets at really good at trade. Sadly not really available these days, for cost generally increasing for various reasons. I was trying to trade Newcastle and Nottingham, and I kind of went bridge 5 times. And the first Cricket World Cup game I saw was New Zealand, West Indies, Pakistan. Pakistan was so bad, it ended before 2 o'clock. And I think, I don't quite remember the exact time, I was seeing before 2, and it was, what do I do now? My advance ticket trains out in Newark, it was 7, because I was just not expecting anything like this. And I was looking up, so I said, just museum, might have a drink later on. And I went up and 20 minutes each, so half an hour each way. Well, one thing I had to tell you was a science centre thing, and it hadn't been open. And I actually thought, I was just here today, thinking, where do I go? Oh, this science place, about a 20-minute walk. Way uphill, mind you, I didn't know that. But it's very interesting, Windmill Science Centre. It took an hour to wander around it, but it was a nice place, and it was a nice small thing. I can't remember what it's called, Windmill Science Centre in Nottingham. I can't remember the exact name, but it was interesting, nice way to spend an hour, frankly.